Have you ever caught something on camera that just didn't belong? Well, hopefully it wasn't a demon like the folks we're about to talk about. David Bourget and his family live in Florida now, after they were urged to flee from their Springfield, Massachusetts home following a disturbing paranormal event. So back in October of 2020, David's front door camera let him know that a package was on the porch, so he opened the door to retrieve it. Well, as his front door swung inwards, the camera mounted on it faced into the living room where his wife sat on the sofa. And the footage shows David dragging this large parcel inside, wrestling it into the center of the room. Now, he decided to review the front door footage to see if he could determine whether the package arrived damaged or if the carrier had been too rough with the box. And what he saw on the camera was absolutely freaking terrifying. So as he opened the door, the camera captures a skeletal figure in a black robe sitting on the couch next to his wife. And the figure that looks very much like the Grim Reaper doesn't move at all during the video. It stares unblinkingly towards the camera. Wifey never saw the being, but she did sense it. She reportedly felt cold and pain on the side of her body closest to where the entity sat. And there was nobody else in the building at the time the entity appeared. So after consulting with paranormal investigators, the family was like, hey, let's sell this place, get out of here because we're not dealing with this. And good on them. More often than not, folks stay behind, fight the demon. Not worth it. A dog-walking couple says they bumped into something pretty terrifying. A creepy-looking figure crossed right in front of them in the dark, and even though they caught it on camera, they have no clue what this is. Hannah and Dave Rowett were strolling with their pups through Clumber Park in Nottinghamshire, England, and they bumped into this shadowy creature. You can see it seemingly appear out of thin air and cross their path before going poof. So Hannah's picture was taken as a live photo. So with live photos, you can make them into videos. And then their daughter posted it to Facebook. They were like, oh, seems we weren't alone on our early morning walk today. And the post kind of did gangbusters. It got about 500 reactions. There was thousands of comments, shares. Somebody was like, maybe it's the ghost of a dog or a fox. Somebody else commented saying they had chills seeing that. They're like, how lucky are you? Now, a lot of folks were like, maybe this was cigarette smoke, maybe this was a vape. The couple's like, we don't smoke, it wasn't that. Apparently Dave is like, I am a full-blown skeptic, but this encounter made me a believer. He's like, I've always been really skeptical, but literally every hair from my feet to my head stood on end. He's like, I asked her to show me the photo again. I loved it. Now, while the couple might never know what they saw, Hannah feels comforted by the online detectives. She's like, I've had so many messages about it, it justifies our feeling about it. There aren't many like this out there, and we've got no logical explanation. Well, fun fact folks, apparently this park is supposedly haunted by a gray lady spirit. This woman in a long coat, a demon, crawling on her long limbs, which kinda lines up pretty well with the hunched over thing we saw in the clip. So a paranormal investigator claims to have recorded his best evidence yet of the unknown. Mark Davies and 3 friends visited Erie Wood, Kennelvale at Cornwall back in early 2019 when they had this encounter. He claims footage showing a silhouette appearing across a small bridge, which leads to one of the really, left behind, busted up mills standing on the site, shows something. So Mark and his friends were trying to measure paranormal activity in the area. They wanted to communicate with supernatural beings. So in the video, Mark was like, I always knew they existed. I have felt them, smelt them, heard them. And now, I have seen them. Some may call them aliens, some may call them demons, the Watchers, many other names. And this was his best evidence visual up to date of a non-human being caught on a video camera. He's like, some folks think it's a hoax, that I manipulated the evidence provided. And he's like, well, the evidence is here. The proof is in the pudding. So in the clip, he's like, show us that you're here. Show us that you live on, please. We're here to communicate with you. Well, a couple seconds after that, Mark's friend Wendy starts losing her air. She's coughing, as we're seeing something happening on the bridge. So Mark continues, can all the spirits in these woods stand in front of the bridge? And he's like, hey Wendy, you okay? He was also asking, is it safe to go beyond this bridge? If it's dangerous, can you show yourself, please, on this camera? And then there was a bit of a change of frequency. Mark started to be physically affected by the presence. So the video shows he had to walk away from the bridge for a bit. Apparently his back started to kill him. Mark later said, although the group felt a presence, the creature could not be seen in person. And when asked what kind of being it was, Mark was like, I haven't got any idea. The face is not right. It's not human, but it's definitely there. It was a solid form. I don't want to go there again. He's like, yeah, it gave me a feeling that scared the hell out of me. I just think it's evil. It's not from this world. It was definitely there and it was a solid form. He felt a presence, a coldness and a pain. He just asked it to show itself and it was there. Yeah, I can see why you wouldn't want to do that again. Back in 2015, on his way home from work, David, a resident of the Garden State, says he captured something on his camera, and it's not something normal. So the resident of Little Egg Harbor Township was driving past a golf course on Route 9 when he spotted this monster. He told the local news it was around 6 p.m. and he was like, maybe it was a llama, because Sure, random llamas, folks. And as he got closer, he pulled out his camera and took a photo, because llamas on the side of a highway. Kind of funny. But then, apparently, this creature sprouted wings and took flight from the course it was hanging out on. So our witness said his heart was racing as he witnessed both incredible wonder and deep-seated nightmarish thoughts while capturing the footage. Now apparently this photo was not photoshopped, it wasn't staged, and he's like, a lot of people said it's fake. He's like, I'm just looking for an explanation as to what I saw. So he did take a number of photos, because when you take out your phone, you're like, click, 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 click. But only one of them clearly showed the devilish demon as described in dozens of stories. The photo showed a creature with dark brown fur, wings on its back, and cloven feet. He described it as large, about a flying mammal the size of a deer. Well, if you look at the photo, you can clearly see wings on the creature's back, horns on its head, its feet are correct, and the fur is dark brown, and it's off the ground. Look, I don't see any wires or string holding it up like a piñata. So after his encounter, the witness said he stared at the photo for an hour. He was trying to come up with any kind of explanation for the image he had captured, and he came up with nothing. So going off of that cell phone statement, we've all got them these days, which means we got a lot of footage, and we've got time for one more clip. It starts off perfectly innocent, showing a girl and her friend laughing together in a bedroom. In fact, the woman who filmed it didn't notice anything strange about it until she sent it to a friend, and they were like, hey, what's that burnt red-faced demon behind you? So the clip made its way to Reddit, and the caption was, something with a red face came up behind my friend. She was hanging out, there was nobody else in the room with her, and it randomly shows up behind the girl on the left's head. The poster also said it was a demon maybe, or something, because like lots of bad stuff was happening at her house and sad stuff with the family. So it happens very quickly. It only appears in the last second of the video. But someone brought the clip to YouTube, where they analyzed it, slowed it down, and you could really see the creepy figure. Commenters on the video were disturbed. Somebody was like, dang, that is some scary shit. You can see it rising behind the girl. Or, oh my god, it's Freddy Krueger. And Reddit was like, that scared me. Regretting watching that late at night. Yeah, I had regrets too. Well, that's all for today, folks. I've been Alexa, your resident ooky spooky girly. See ya.